Right. Good evening, everybody. And I've been on for a while. Uncle Fester here. So I haven't been on for a while. So I thought I'd come on. Merry Christmas to everybody, by the way. And I thought I'd come on and see where we are today. We've done a lot of talks previously to various people who are having trouble with child's maintenance service, MPs, suicide within the armed forces, within our veterans community. So this evening, I thought I'd just come on with a few people who we've spoke to, see where they are now. We'll bring him back, Ian. If you remember, his son unfortunately committed suicide because of the CMS and the way they treat him. So I've got a special guest on tonight who is going to be ex-military as well, going to be an advocate, and he's going to be sitting beside me taking the role as the advocate and seeing where we're going with things, and he's had experience himself. So I'll introduce him as he comes on in a minute. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring on Bully Biscuit. I haven't spoke to him for a while. Here he is. Bully Biscuit, how are you, son?
Good evening. How the devil? I'm bloody marvellous, thank you.
Good. I'm glad to see. How was your Christmas? Good?
Yeah, not too bad. Very, very tranquil, I'd say. Yes.
Okay.
Very
so,
nice.
Look, it's been a long time coming, but let's get this show underway. All right, we'll bring a special guest on next, I think. Who is it? I forgot his name. Who is he?
Alex.
Yeah, that's it. Ex-parrot, isn't it? Another one. Why have we got him all around us, man? You know what I mean? But we'll bring him on anyway, and we'll let him introduce himself. All right, big man, how are you?
How doubly dare you, young man. Who is he? You know full bloody well who I am. Hello, boys and girls. Happy Christmas. I'm glad that we're smiling. I mean, the reason I'm very passionate. I know we've spoken before. We've never actually done anything like this together, but there's a very passionate reason why I'm involved with you guys, which we'll come to later. But it's a pleasure to be here. And as I just said, we all swore our oath to Queen and Country, which I'm not quite sure about these days. But what I do believe is the strong defend the weak, and for evil to exist, good men or women do nothing. And it's down to us to keep doing what we're doing tonight and to keep doing and getting this message out, because there's some crap going down and we need to stop it.
Yeah, I firmly believe that as well myself, Alex. And if we don't stand our line, then who is going to stand the line for the people?
I formed my own foundation, the Bob Reid Foundation, which you're actually both members of now. Bob was my dad. He was an ex-para. You know, gotta love the paras. Funny though, I never knew he was a para until I was a young man, because he never talked about it. He was a pacifist and a lover. Yeah. Long story short, he died very unhappy. And I can't go into it for legal reasons, but long story short, it was formed because he wanted to see his grandchild. And there's so many rules involved. And if I had the devastation I've had in more than 50 court hearings, over 8 years of being involved in the family courts, if I had the advice and the experience I now have with the conglomerate of people like yourselves and like other professionals who've come together and who don't want to see crap carrying on and for evil to exist, the good man does nothing. But they're coming together to help other people in our position, men and women, so we can all put that advice and help. So you know what's going on in the court system, in the corrupt legal system which is in our society. That's what the Bob Reid Foundation is about, is to uncover. I'll go into it more later. In fact, I'll tell you about three main things. Equality of law, which we're going to talk heavily about tonight.
Yeah.
That needs to really be addressed. Number 2, the burden of proof.
Yeah.
In the criminal courts, it is, if you make an allegation which isn't true, you can go to prison. Well, you know, the paedophile card, the most horrendous things are thrown at one parent by the other parent without any proof, and they're often accepted. Not accepted, but it's horrendous how it destroys families. That needs to be changed. It needs to be addressed. And last thing, the transparency. We need transparency. That's the 3 main facets about the Bob Reid Foundation. We also help people on how to fill out forms, what to say, what they shouldn't say, give them advice. because of all the pain and suffering that I've endured, and you both have endured, and I call upon your experience too sometimes, I thank you, we can help other people. So if in all this crappy, shitty situation of what's going on in the family courts and their system, if our pain and suffering can help other people, then that is one good thing.
And that's brilliant. And we're gonna cover that now, definitely. Let's bring in Noel next, shall we? Noel is quite he's gone through as well.
He's not a paratrooper,
I tell you what, gents, I apologise. I'm also cavalry, you know what I mean? Seniors regiment. Here he is. Oh, look, they caught him drinking as well, look.
How you doing, gentlemen?
Hello.
Evening, Mule China.
How are you? How are you, sir?
Bloody marvellous, Mule China. Meow, Cockney Sparrow.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about the parachute regiment, and for the record, I'm not insane. I'm not insane. I don't jump out of perfectly good aircraft. Boots on the ground. Boots on the ground is what I am.
No, you're a bit crackly. Is that something we can do with the sound there?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now, guys? Is that better?
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
I can hear crackling in the background.
I think it's Alex's.
Is it?
I think Alex is playing with something.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Is it me?
He's frozen. He might have to. That's better.
Oh.
I can hear some sort of like crackling going on in the background. I'm not sure what that is.
I dread to think.
Yeah, I mean, just to
watching this, although we're all great people, it's just a military thing. It happens that we have an affinity, a background, having been military, and we'll talk about more what goes on because of the military, how with many military servicemen suffered. But more than anything, we have each other's backs, and we want to change society. Noel is a sergeant in the army. He'll tell you which regiment, but he's a good guy and he's very organised. And this is what we need. We need people who are going to stand up and to do the right thing, not to run in, all guns blazing, being stupid, shooting everybody, but to a military campaign, but with almost with heart and love, not shooting everyone, but changing the world in a different way.
Alex, push your camera back a little bit. I'm not sure if it's your signal. Did you get that? No.
Not really. I think your internet connection now is not too great. If you sort out your internet, I think it's crackling.
Shall I come off?
And
Shall I come off?
Bad comms. Get your comms sorted.
Yeah, it's bad comms. Yeah, I mean, just to reiterate, pretty much with what what Alex said, it's kind of mad, how we've all come together. That's you, Clive, that's Craig, that's Alex, that we've all felt the need to reach out to each other because, the devastation that's been caused by the family courts, by CAFCAS, by Child Protection Services, and particularly the Child Maintenance Group, who are a lot more brutal, in their methods with the non-resident parent. Dare I say, against fathers, and that's why. Not that I condone their behaviour, and who am I to judge? Like Fathers for Justice and stuff like that. They felt that they had to get dressed up in costumes and head over to the Houses of Parliament and start climbing up Big Ben and all that sort of stuff, because unfortunately in society today, just no one's been. I mean, they're just steamrolling what's going on, and the fact of the matter is, a lot of men now, the biggest killer of men is suicide, not COVID.
Yeah. No. And it is, and let's move this on and bring in Lottie, and then we'll bring Ian in because we're going to just quickly bring Lottie in now. Lottie, how are you, babes?
I am. You're right, guys.
How's your Christmas been?
buddy.
How's everything going?
It's good. Had the kids over. It was just nice. Just nice and relaxing. And, been riding my horse today, which is quite nice.
Excellent.
But,
So we're going to talk about yours in a bit. I'm going to bring Ian on now because I can see him waiting patiently there. All right, let's bring Ian on as well. And then when Alex comes back, I'll bring Alex back on because Alex has dipped out, sorting his comms out. Typical paratrooper, see, Craig? Comms failure. So here we are. Big Ian, how are you, son?
Yeah, I'm okay, mate. Okay.
Good. How's the wife, mate?
Yeah, she's okay. She's good. Yeah.
Good. So, right, Ian. I said I was you, and I'm sorry, mate. And So, what's been happening, mate?
Well, yeah, last couple of days, roller coaster of emotions. Memories, sad times, good times. Yeah, difficult to explain that one, but there's been a lot going on since I've last been on. I've obviously got with you guys, been in contact with an awful lot of people. From
Ian, can I, Ian, for the people who are watching, can I just say, or do you want to say, or do you want me to say what happened in the start of the year? Because if they missed our last video, you want me to do it?
Yeah, probably easier if you do it.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this video, all right, we've been calling out the CMS, and the big man I just brought. Where is he? He's just come on. Right, for those of you just watching, sorry about that. Alex Reid has just tried to come back in. Ian unfortunately lost his son on July the 3rd, and there was fictitious arrears. Actually, the CMS, Child Maintenance Services, had a fictitious arrears, and they were actually hounding him and pushed him to the brink of where a lot of people are pushed by the CMS. And the thing is with Ian actually approached the CMS, and it's been finding difficult to connect with them. So this year, Ian's having Christmas without his son because of the way they treated him. The CMS, child maintenance support, or child maintenance services. So Ian, I just wanted to share that with the people who are watching. And I'm sorry, mate. I don't know what you were going through and your family,
Yeah.
So where are you today, bud?
Right, where are we today? So since the last time we chatted, I've been writing to all sorts of people, MPs, Department of Works and Pensions, Arlene Sugden. I've been writing to ICE. I've been written to NOA. I've lost count of all the departments I've written to try and get help with bringing the CMS to account. CMS is still refusing to speak to me. All the replies, the first round of replies I got from these people, basically, Arlene Sugden, they still can't do anything because I'm only his father, and they won't talk to me because of supposedly GDPR regulations. Done some investigation into that. GDPR regulations only apply to the living, so they don't actually apply to Gavin. So they've got no excuse to not talk to me, but they're still refusing to talk to me. So all the other people I've written to so far, they've written back and said, "Oh, you've got to go through the CMS. Try these people. And they've been basically batting me around between each other. So I then turned nothing to lose. So I wrote back to, including my own MP, I wrote back some stroppy letters, stroke emails, basically calling them out. Some of them ignored me. My MP has now decided he's going to get on board and try and help me. So I'm not quite sure where that will go. But I've also been talking to lots of other people who have reached out to me through the posts we put on the various CMS sites and far right sites. And it is just absolutely, would not believe what is going on. You know, Gavin, there was more than just arrears with Gavin. They added £26,000 additional income to Gavin annual. He was a train mechanic, worked on the trains. They tried to tell him he was earning 76 grand a year as a train mechanic. There's another guy I've spoken to that we're trying to get on board, help us. I can't say too much, but he's a labourer. He drives a beaten up old van and he borrows his dad's car. The CMS have his annual income down as £88,000. And that's what they're working his figures out on. Even his accountant cannot believe what the CMS has come back with. But they won't change it. They won't look at it. They won't do anything about it. And this is a real incredible one. This one just takes the biscuit. There is a guy out there who's self-employed, running his own business. And the CMS have come back with their financial investigation unit, have done an investigation. And in their own words, they have added £25,000 to his annual income because they believe that he can do that within his business. They believe it. They can't prove it. They just believe it. So they added it to his income. Even the tax man has to prove where your income, what he's taxing you on. These guys, they're just getting away with murder. How can anybody say, oh, we believe you can hide 25 grand in your business and add that to this guy's income? And it took the guy's income up to £100,000 a year. What, you know, it's just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Ian, for the layperson, okay, so CMS have inflated my earnings. I haven't got that money. I simply can't pay it. So what happens to me?
They still chase for it.
But I haven't got the money.
They'll get a liability. What they'll do is they'll get a liability order and get you in court.
So basically, a lot of stress, a lot of worry. They could come to my house and take my property, take my belongings.
Yep.
Once you get that liability order against you, that's it. They will go after you. If you've got property, they'll take it.
But if they're not government-backed company, is that right? They're a limited company. How does it work?
Yeah, right.
But they can take money out of people's bank accounts. They can empty your bank account. They have the power to empty your bank account.
Yeah, right. What they are, Alex, all right. This CMG Child Maintenance Group, which is the body, all right. And I'll add it to the stream now so you can see it. So, and it says on Wikipedia, Child Maintenance is an external organisation working for the Department of Works and Pensions in Great Britain. All right, they're made up of Serco, and right, Noel, Serco. Give us a quick rundown, but
right, Serco. Serco is a company that's run by Winston Churchill's grandson, Rupert Soames. I came across Serco when I was mobilised with the army. Yeah, so the army was mobilised, test and trace, and it was at that time, it was NHS test and trace. And we came across Serco because within 3 months of the military running the testing for COVID, we were on top of it. The infection rate came right down. I don't even think that there was any recorded deaths in the United Kingdom when the army was doing all the testing, because the army was doing the testing, military intelligence was analysing all the data with the NHS. Then subsequently, it was removed from the army after 3 months and it was given to Serco. A £414 million contract was given to Serco. So that's when a lot of the military were asking questions. Who is this Serco? The only thing that we'd ever heard of Serco was that they were running the Serco vans for the prison service. So I looked into Serco and I started really looking into them. Then I uncovered when Bully and myself and Clive, when we did the last podcast, we uncovered the fact that Serco had an office in Bolton where they claim that they've collected over £1 billion in arrears for the child maintenance. That was their press release from Serco that clearly stated that they had collected in 10 years £1 billion in arrears.
Hold on a minute. No, that sounds like a great thing. They've done all this. They've taken the money. They must be giving that to all the children. Well, hey, that's great, isn't it?
That
Right.
is great. But here we go.
I know it's not.
Fictitious arrears.
It's not, but in layman's terms, people will be looking at it going, it's great. Unfortunately, what a lot of people don't realise is Serco. I'm going to share the screen with you. All right. Our government, this is the Serco contracts we've got for our government to give out to Serco. There's 97.
Wow.
The top one is for COVID test, what Noel was just on about. That contract in itself is worth £1 billion. If I go all the way to the bottom, and I've done a calculation on it, on how much it was, all them contracts are £14 billion. If you go through them, Alex, if you go through them,
Yeah.
I know you've been through the justice system.
Yeah.
Serco are the company behind the justice system, the
So-
Ministry of Defence. They're behind everything, mate. The
So they
CMS.
CMS, I believe they take 20% of the parent giving the money to the other parent, right? And they're inflating these figures and they're making a lot more money. And this money's going to all these companies. Is that what you're saying? It's not going to the children.
Well,
What's to them? They're forcing people under collecting pay so they can fund the department.
CMS as an organisation, if you're a social services company, why are you making, I think it's 36 to 40 million in 1 year profit, Alex? How many companies do you know make profit of around 30 to 40 million in a year, mate?
Yeah. I know that the family courts made over 100 million last year. Now, that doesn't make sense in the misery of all of us.
It does. And, you know, Lottie, you've had experience of what Ian was saying about money being taken out of the wages. Explain to us, from your circumstances, your partner and yourself, how you suffered.
Well, so basically our hell of CMS started last year. It started in April of last year. We were, and this is where it kind of links into what we're going to be talking about anyway, because what his ex concocted was that she basically planned and also staged an attack on him regarding the children, where they were going to reside, you know, whether they were going, because we were doing 50-50 at the time and it was working quite well. Kids were happy, but then the mother was miserable as sin. She had to work. So back in, I think it was March time, she then concocted a plan to get him, basically, a false allegation. She made a false allegation against him regarding domestic abuse. What actually happened was she started the argument, and that led to basically, you know, him putting his hand on her shoulder, and what she did was she recorded all of that. So, and this is where it started. So it started from, you know, making a false accusation that she couldn't prove. She didn't have hard evidence. It was just her word against his. And there's a lot of terms, especially in America, where it's called the silver bullet, where women go out of their way where children are concerned to make false allegations. And this is what she did. She then, because of what's happened, she then had, obviously she had the £20 waived, because with abuse victims, they get the £20 fee taken away, so they don't have to pay that for CMS. And she then went after the CMS route, you know, and looking at his figures, they started asking for nearly £600, you know, and at the time we were still going through the court process, the magistrate side. You know, obviously he was convicted, but he was convicted of a lesser offence. So, you know, he basically had to do like community service, and also he had to go every so often to see some probationary, basically.
But it leads back to,
Can I come?
it leads back
Yeah.
to alienation.
Yeah, we were
So-
alienated from the girls for about 3 months until about May. So we had no contact because we couldn't. Because if any of us had contacted her, we would be thrown in jail. This is what needs to stop. Is like women need to stop doing this. And I'm sorry, but it is mainly women that do it.
Lottie,
You know, if
this is
there's
good.
Oh, come
no
on.
proof,
What's the big problem with parental alienation? I mean, surely one parent has got a better idea if they're with the kid all the time that they don't need to see the other parent.
well, this is the thing. Is like I mean,
Child
in that
abuse.
whole year, we were alienated from them for 5 months.
Child abuse?
Ian, Lottie,
Lottie,
listen.
child abuse.
Ian, go on. Ian,
Child abuse.
use one for you, Alex. Ian, go on. See what you was going to say.
But what Lottie was just saying about us, another thing that I've come across, I've been doing a lot of digging around about this Kafka stuff. My lad was accused of child abuse, his second marriage, when the second marriage broke up. And he was interviewed by the police under caution, investigation, and he was exonerated. And everybody who knows Gavin has said that just wasn't Gavin. But the trouble is, once that allegation is made, there is no need for proof. The Kafkas will take that allegation, and that is it. They don't care whether Gavin was found exonerated or not. They don't care. All they do is they take that allegation as gospel. And at the time that Gavin went through, the lawyer he had him working for him. Basically, the lawyer said to him, "Look," he says, "the best thing you can do, Gavin, is walk away." He says, "because you are never ever going to get to see your kids again. It's just going to cost you money, wasting your time." And at the time, for Gavin and his family, that was a horrendous thing to be placed in. But looking back and looking at all the stories that I've since come across, that lawyer did Gavin a favour. You know, he only knew one kid for about a year, the other one he never knew. So he didn't have that much of a bond with them. He could walk away. But the trouble is, those kids have no father figure. You know, I said it's child abuse. You are depriving those children of a father figure. And the CMS has now completely finished the job off. But the initial Kafka and these child abuse allegations, and it's funny because my lawyer said exactly the same thing when I said to him about it, because I obviously told him about the child abuse. Just don't worry about that, because we get that all the time. It's called the silver bullet. He says it happens all the time. You know, and it's ludicrous. It's this proof. How can they get away without burden of
evidence.
Proof? Every other law, every other agency, if you go down any road, you have to have proof or you can find somebody guilty. The MS,
Can I just
they don't have to have that proof.
Can I just put my spin on things here? Obviously, with CMS, disclosure is it a constitutional law in this country, Craig? Disclosure, the Disclosure Act.
Innocent until proven guilty, aren't you? That's maximum law.
Right, exactly. So in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty. The CMS
have turned that around.
Have completely turned that around. So they're breaking the law straight away there. The
That
disclosure
was
law.
actually mentioned. What you said there was in the Cronin and Gibbons case, where the judges actually said that they have turned the innocent until proven guilty around. That was, part of the findings of that case, where they were found to have breached Article 6 of the European Convention.
So, Craig, based on that act, if you could just explain to people, based on that act, yeah, it went to the High Court, didn't it?
Yeah.
And didn't the judge rule, just so that everybody listening, what did the judge actually say about the CMS?
Well, he said that they were in breach of Article 6 of the European Convention of Human Rights. Now, if an act of Parliament or behaviour of a public body or whatever breaches the Convention and the Charter of Fundamental Rights, then that act of Parliament under the European Communities Act 1972, that act of Parliament should have been disapplied. And the thing is, they didn't actually use that. I can't get my head around it. Why they're going to use the Article 6 if Article 6 has been breached, then Article 47 of the Charter of Fundamental Rights would have been breached also, which means that Child Support Act should have been disapplied.
Nobody's saying.
Is Serco part of the family courts now?
Right. So, sorry. We'll just come back to that in a minute, Alex. So basically, what we're saying is that both parents, and we've always stated it here and now on the record that both parents are financially responsible for that child, and that is both parents.
That's Section 1 of the Child Support Act 91.
Yes, so both parents. So why is it, yet again, that fathers are being forced to pay under duress into these contracts? So in hindsight, what's happening is, Alex, is the minute that brown envelope comes through the door and it's there in black and white, Serco have sent you a contract. Department of Work and Pensions. Serco have sent you a contract. They are forcing you to sign that contract under duress.
Not to be No, and I know the answer, but tell me, why do you say fathers are not mothers as well?
Because basically, it seems to be, and we know a lot of cases where the father has custody of the child, and he's applied for the child support, and the child support agency have literally laughed him out the door.
That's what happened to Gavin. That's what happened to Gavin.
Statistics, Craig.
Hey?
Have we got any statistics?
I don't know the statistics, but I do. I have heard that quite a bit, where the guy has been the parent care, and the CMS or CSA have refused to help them. But I do know that there's a couple of cases I've been helping with where the woman is the actual absent parent. Oh, sorry, the NRP.
But ultimately, we're all here because of Ian. Poor Ian. I'm flabbergasted at how Christmas must have been. I've never met Gavin. From everything I've seen, he seemed like a sterling, wonderful man. And I think I heard the story. He was left with less than £100 a month to live on.
Yeah.
And how's he supposed to survive on that? And he's got a new family. Did he have a new family?
He had a fiance. He's got a fiance. Yeah.
Horrendous. I'm so sad for you, mate.
And this is Gavin. This is Gavin Yurlock. All right.
This is manslaughter. This is criminal, and I'm absolutely effing disgusted that this is going on and happening. How is this good for our society? I think you all told me about soldiers in Afghanistan and Iraq who are more worried about CMS than the Taliban. When there's people leading fire officers working on the Grenfell Towers being brought off because they can't function properly because of what's going on with the CMS, and they're responsible. But I mean, how many other situations in society is this causing? Because of the greed, I believe, of this company, Serco, and these civil servants. It's destroying our country and our society.
Alex,
Somewhere in there, there's going to be MPs making money from the CMS.
yeah, but right, Alex,
Yes.
this is a letter, and I tell you now, this is for people to. This is what people need to listen to, right? There was a Freedom of Information letter actually sent on the 10th of December 2019, and the question was, how many CMS cases has there been closed due to death of a paying parent? Between
So what they're doing, they're
2018,
making children more poverty. They're creating more poverty.
yeah, they are. But
Backwards.
Alex, there was 910 people, all right, deaths who were paying parents, but nobody knows what them deaths are. But I would like to know how many of them 910 people who died during 2018, 2019, who were on the CMS paying for their child, how many of them took their own life? That's the big question I'd like to ask.
I've got some figures for you there.
Go on.
Right, so these figures are from Brian. He's the guy that we've been talking to.
Yeah.
So parents, right, on the CMS, parents paying, this is the suicide rates of non-resident parents, yeah, who are paying arrears on the CMS or paying CMS. So in a year, parents who have no arrears, there has been 21 suicides in a year. Yeah. Parents with arrears, 965 suicides.
Wow.
So if you get into arrears with the CMS, 965 people have been in such a position that they see no way out and have taken their life as the only way.
Ian, I was on a TV show. I'm in the fortunate in the celebrity world. I say that because I have disdain for it. I was on a show called Jeremy Carr, which got showed, and I was called on Channel 4 News to talk about the suicide which happened because of some of what's going on here. Look, what the hell? This is disgusting. We have to stop this.
They're going mental. Wonder the MPs were going mental about the suicide on Jeremy Carr show.
Alex,
they're not bothered about this.
Alex, here we go. I'm going to share something. Alex,
yeah,
this is something I'm going to share with you. Right, you veterans. We got veterans. I think we're 68 or 69. We're at now. Took their lives this year. All right. Suicide. We've reached out to the MPs. Johnny Mercer's blocked me, Bully, and various other veterans. He's actually sent.
Who's Johnny Mercer? For those who don't know,
Johnny Mercer is the Member of Parliament who's elected to look after the Veterans Affairs Office, which they created after Boris Johnson was elected to help veterans.
Is he ex-army, ex-military?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Ex-captain.
Cheers, Johnny. Cheers, mate.
He's absolutely. But I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you something that the woman. So you got Johnny Mercer letting down the veterans. Also, they're letting down the people who are being pursued in Northern Ireland. Dennis Hitchens is one of them. You know Dennis, Bully. All right. Yeah. For the Northern Ireland Troubles, they're going for Dennis. The people who they should be going for. MP should be standing up because they sent them there. We wore the uniform. We follow orders when we go into an operation theatre, as you know yourself, Alex.
Ours is not to reason why. Ours is just to do and die.
Exactly. All right. But Deborah, what's her name? Deborah Stedman Scott.
Stedman Scott.
Baroness. She's in charge of DWP.
She's Under Secretary of State for the Child Maintenance Service.
I read an article from her the other day which was extremely biased. I tried my best to look at it from a third person. I couldn't believe it. It was like it wasn't news. It was completely and utter propaganda.
Yeah.
Shall I let you into something here?
Deadbeat dads, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Alex,
Alex.
can I have my swing, please?
Yeah, go on.
Now then, on the 21st of November, I was on the Families Need Fathers convention, and this is my question here. This was live, so they could actually see this stuff that I had posted here. That's Deborah Stubman Scott on the right, top right, and Duncan Gilchrist, who is he used to do all the policies for the Child Support Agency, and he's still in the policy sort of things. I put this stuff on here. This is 21st of November. The pair of them ignored this stuff what I've written here. And you know, I'm saying I've got evidence of fraud and misconduct. We need a public inquiry. You would have thought, with them having upheld the law, part of the ministerial code and the civil service code, they are obligated to uphold the law. They should have came back to me and said, well, you know, if you've got this evidence, then please provide me with it. Not a sausage. Didn't come back to me at all. And then, just on the 22nd of November, 22nd of December there, that horrible article came out. But there was also an article before that with the Express as well. Another one, going to hunt down people who have been paying child maintenance because of COVID.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's propaganda. She knows what's going on. And there's thousands of people have been emailing her, telling her that the CMS are committing fraud and people are suicidal. And she's just pumping that bullshit out. She's in breach of the ministerial code there.
Is the pen mightier than the sword in this case? We need to get our pens a lot more active, if that's the case.
No, sorry, Ian.
Alex, that article that you read, I commented on that 4 times about Gavin and his case. I also posted Gavin's blog on that page, and every time it was removed. So, she knows about it because she's seen it on that post, and it has been removed.
And this is the post you're all talking about, all right?
Can I just add something?
That was the first one.
Can I just add something? If I could just add something, right? So also the child maintenance group. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think Craig has got the link to it as well. They'd published that throughout COVID, that it's been their most successful year in collecting money throughout COVID, when God knows how many people have been furloughed. Allegedly, everybody with arrears who's been trying to get hold of the CMS are all being told that it's only a skeleton workforce that's working at the moment. Nobody can get through. Nobody can use their portal. The whole thing, and all of these figures, and we all know, let's not forget, let's go right back to basics here. The National Audit Office, that's not me, that's not anything to do with us. The National Audit Office audit everybody, including the military, closed down the Child Support Agency for false accounting.
When?
Back in 2012. So they closed down the Child Support Agency, the CSA. The government closed down the CSA, which was a dragon. Then they reopened. They just basically rebranded it. And then they called it the CMS. So the CSA was a dragon. Sorry, Craig, what was the exact amount? Was it 3.6 or 3.8? I can't remember.
They said there was outstanding 3.8 billion of arrears, but 75% of that was uncollectible because they'd been created by interim assessments inflated of up to 300%. And Gingerbread, Gingerbread pumping that out. Oh, we still owed the 3.8 billion in uncollected child support arrears. Well, excuse me, confirmed that It was confirmed that that's unheard.
There
Say
is
again?
still-
Who are gingerbread for those who don't know?
they support single parent. There was single
Single
parent
families.
parity, Alex. They're a load of liars, and I think Craig has gone after him, haven't you, Craig?
Yeah.
Are they anything
Yeah, I
to do
reported
with
it to
Serco?
Charity Commission.
Yeah.
Are they anything to do with Serco?
CMS.
No.
They're a stakeholder in CMS. They're the ones that introduced gross instead of net, which I feel is the worst thing you could ever do. It's you don't earn gross. No one does. It's it doesn't make sense at all.
It's all, Alex, it's all entwined, Alex. It's like what Noel's just said there. I've just put this article up. To meet unprecedented demand for benefits during pandemic, the department redeployed over 8,000 staff to critical frontline work, streamlined processes, increased the capacity of our IT systems. This included approximately 1,700 members of staff from the Child Maintenance Service to support universal credit. And that's come from DWP response.
So what's going on, guys? No, is CMS government backed or is it away from the government? If the government,
Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my spin and my theory on everything that's going on at the moment.
please.
Right. You look at Her Majesty's Court Service, yeah, CEO. You look at CAFCAS, CEO, Board of Directors, self-employed contractors. You look at Child Protection Services, which has been privatised now, G4S, Serco. You look at Child Maintenance Service, Serco. The same name keeps on coming up all the time when you're looking into this. Now, in our previous podcast, Clive and myself could not find any evidence of the money that's been collected that has gone back to the Treasury. So how it's looking, and we have to prove that this is what's going on, how it's looking is that these corporations are buying contracts from the government. They've been given the powers and then they've been told, you crack on. Exactly the same way with COVID-19. It was recently on Channel 4 by Dispatches. They are saying on Dispatches, why is this called NHS Test and Trace? The NHS are not involved in it. And it's exactly the same as the CSA, CMS, whatever you want to call it.
No,
It is not.
Just for the layperson, right? Just trying to catch up here. So we have some dodgy politicians, MPs, who are maybe I imagine have some interest in allowing this company called Serco to have the contracts. Is that what you're saying? So they're lining their own pockets. Is that what we're saying?
Right. Well, we can't find any money that's been collected. Yes, because when the letter comes through the door, when they're taking their enforcement action against you, they're saying that it's the Secretary of State is taking action against you and whoever the claimant might be. Believe me, I've had enough of these court orders to come through the door. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And they say the Secretary of State. So what they're saying is that they are collecting the money on behalf of the Secretary of State. Now, previously, when I've had a conversation with Ian, that is how it used to be. When the CSA was first set up, it was to, I believe it was a condition that when a woman made a claim, when I say a woman, the resident parent made a claim against child support. I'm not familiar with the benefit system, so it's child support, something like that. They had to give the name of the father. So basically, Margaret Thatcher had implemented that the state was not going to support your child. That was what it was. And of course, with everything now with Serco, exactly the same way with COVID, they've business modelled everything. They've looked at this. They've looked at this as a business model, how they can collect money. I mean, if you actually sat down and done the figures on how many people are on their book, I think there was an FOI that was done recently where child maintenance said that they had something between the region, I can't remember off the top of my head, it was between 380,000 to 450,000 people on their books. Now, if they're collecting £1 billion in a year, I say it and I keep saying it time and time again. Who are they assessing? Are they assessing Premier League football players? Because their figures are just not adding up. Yet again, £1 billion. I mean, the amount of money that is getting thrown around. And when I spoke to Ian before regarding his case, when he said that his son was a trained technician and that they had assessed him at £76,000, you're trying to tell me that not a single person put 2 and 2 together and said that this is a trained technician. Now, I'm not discrediting their capabilities, but we're not talking about a plastic surgeon, are we? Plastic surgeons and people like that earn that kind of money, and probably more.
Why inflate it that
Alex,
much?
yeah, but Alex, here we go. Members of Parliament, they voted in for a 4-year term. All right?
Right.
I'm going to show you something. Don't forget, we got veterans now, all right? So what we just said, Johnny Mercer, this is a news article which came up on the 13th of December. UK Veterans Affairs Office failure to collect data on veterans, homelessness and suicide raises concerns. So this is just something which has come up at the end of the year, but Johnny Mercer, who's an MP, knows all about it, and he's failed. However, this one comes in directly behind it. Suicides among British troops. Among British troops today, more than double. 17 people have took their lives in the military this year. And this is from General Richard Dunant. And he's at high level. You know how high level generals are. They mix with the MPs. And he's been in front of the MPs. MPs have got no control, mate. It's an institute. The civil servants run our country.
Who do they answer to?
Civil servants.
How do we make them answer?
And this is the problem. How do we make them answer? The only way we can do it is... Say again?
And I'm not talking about becoming vigilantes here. I'm not talking about marching and being Guy Fawkes. I'm talking about doing with the best we can, with the power we have, with our minds. How can we need to let people to be aware of this? Because why do people... People don't care. That's the thing. Or do they?
Right. Look, if I could just...
We need to try...
Go on,
We
Ian.
need to try and get a high-profile court case. And that's what I'm trying to do with Gavin's inquest.
Fabulous.
Is to get it into a high-profile inquest and make people aware of what is going on through the legal system. Use the legal system that we've got to the best of our abilities.
Ian,
and if
do we
can
have
do
a problem
that,
using Ian? But do we have a problem using the system to hold themselves accountable? The same system that are breaching.
I'm not sure. I know the coroner's office has got a lot of power. I know the coroner's office has got a lot of clout, and they're not part of the actual judicial system because they don't find people guilty. They are purely a information gathering court. All they want to know for Gavin, all they want to know is where, how, when, why. This all I can't remember what it is now. Why, when, where? Yeah, when, where, how, and why. And the why is what we're trying to make this case into. Is why he actually did it. And the reason he did it was because the CMS think they're above the law. They can make things up and get away with it. And they're doing it to people all the time. If this can't get this,
years and years and years.
With
Clive,
champions like the Baroness, we need to highlight this
to make them look. This is disgusting. This is.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Noel?
What I was going to suggest is, right. Unfortunately, the police as well, and I don't want to start getting into it, but the police are absolutely ridden with corruption as well. We've all seen recently this criminal records office who have been issuing out the COVID fines. That's 7 chief constables. 7.
Yeah.
Chief constables are all directors of the criminal records office who've been handing out these fines, and in the space of a year have profited £700,000 profit. That 700 grand profit. So there's seven directors there. So chief constables who are on a fat wage anyway have all taken an extra 100 grand a year. That is, corruption at the highest level. And all that COVID has highlighted for me is the amount of corruption that's going on in all of these government departments. And as Clive was saying, unfortunately, the way our constitution works, MPs are only voted in for 4 years. Is it 4 or 5 years? Is it 5 years?
5.
4 years.
5.
Right. Is it 5? Yeah, I think it is 5 years. Yeah. So they voted in 5 years. Unfortunately, civil servants are there to stay. We did also see with Brexit that the Supreme Court, so we keep being told about the Separation of Powers Act. So when you go and see your MP about issues that you're having with the Child Maintenance Service, they will sting you with the Separation of Powers Act. They will say we cannot interfere in judicial matters. But how is it that the judiciary was able to interfere into Parliament? With a parliamentary, yet again, maybe I am on this spaceship going to a parallel universe. So the Supreme Court, nobody clocks these things. So the Supreme Court was able to override Parliament and the people's vote when we were trying to get Brexit done. Then basically the whole nation had to vote for Boris Johnson to get Brexit through. Yeah, and give him an 80-seat majority or whatever we gave him. So the long and short of it is that all these civil servants and MPs, they're not getting off the hook, in my opinion, are giving these corporations like Randox, like Serco, G4S, all of these government contracts. None of this money seems to be going back to the Treasury. But not only are we being affected, billions upon billions upon billions of taxpayers' money is being squandered left, right, and centre to all of these MPs. It's going to all of their mates and someone else that they know. And Matt Hancock, where there was where the PPE contract was given to his mate, so he's got a nice £1 billion contract. All of these contracts that have been given out, Serco have got the immigration. Why do you think we've got floods and floods of these boat people that are coming across? Because Serco are claiming from the government £900 an illegal immigrant that gets across.
Yeah.
£900. So how many of them are in a boat? 15? You do the mathematics.
It's going back to it's cooperation led. And COVID-19, people are dying of COVID-19. COVID-19 is real. However, look at where we are now. COVID-19 has allowed the government to bring bills and policies and acts into Parliament under the radar. And contracts are gone out. Mental health is the biggest killer now after this. Suicide, poverty. Yeah. Poverty is. And look, let's be honest. I was brought up on a council estate, and potentially all of us on here were probably on a council estate, and we've all been there. And I tell you what, man, I wouldn't like to be a child now in this, and I wouldn't like to be. Look, I tried to commit suicide last year, all right, and I tried it again this year, and now I know how this works. I'm not in the dark space anymore. So there's a lot of people out there suffering now, Alex. And what do we do?
Let me add that, guys and girls, if you're watching this, that you might not follow everything, and there's things I'm not entirely following. What I'm learning, we've got a passionate, good bunch of guys and girls here who want to change this functional, corrupt society, and we can't help but say society is corrupt. In my own foundation, the Bob Reid Foundation, we're lobbying to change equality of law, transparency, and to have the burden of proof. So if you've got domestic abuse put against you and you've never laid a hand on anybody's head, it will be proven. But if you need help, everybody here can help you. We hope, with the unfortunate things that have happened to Ian's son Gavin, that we could bring justice and help everybody in this situation against this corrupt company called CMS. I'm conscious. I don't want to keep it too long because we're just coming up to an hour. I'm just going to finish off, guys. If there's anything else you want to add, we're here to help. We have lots of experience. I'm Alex Reid. If you want to reach me, I've got the Bob Reid Foundation. You can reach me through any of the guys and girls on this group. Over to you, Craig.
Clive, baby, I've just sent you an email.
Craig, we'll do that. We'll do another video, another catch up, and we'll do that one after again because we are over the time. Go on, have your last shout.
But that was actually an email I got from Anne Widdicombe where she confirmed that the CSA were causing suicides.
Amazing.
Okay.
Well, it's horrendous, but yeah.
Right.
No,
I'll come back to you. No, obviously, sir.
Just very, very quickly, I think the British public really need to wake up and start taking action themselves. And I'm not talking about just child maintenance service. I'm talking about across the board. At the end of the day, everything that's going on in society at the moment, we are all paying for. The British taxpayer. That is not the government's money. It is not their money. Yes, this is collected on behalf of HMRC from all of us that go out to work. They have no business whatsoever going out there and squandering billions upon billions of taxpayers' money or even borrowing against that. It's unacceptable and that is illegal.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's my final word on it. Word on it.
Charlotte?
Yeah?
Have you say, babes? What do you want to say before we go?
Well, I mean, obviously I didn't cover what DEOs actually do, but, at the same time, I am glad the case is closed. However, I just wait with bated breath because my partner's ex is vile and money driven. However, what I do see, and it's a positive and it's a negative, but what I do see is that there's going to be a lot of lonely women in the future when they're older because children grow up and they find out and they really do find the truth. And then at the end of the day, that parent who's alienated them will end up alone. And it's all they're doing. And CMS is accountable for that. CMS are alienators, they're abusers. And this is what we need to stop. That we can't allow abusers to get away with it. We can't allow to pay because at the moment, the way it is, the way it's worked out is that RPs get more money for the less nights that the NRP has, which I feel is bad. It's the worst thing ever. How can you, I believe in 50-50 and that's how it should be. At the end of the day, every child within their own rights deserves to have equal parenting. I was brought up with two parents. I still had the same amount of time with my mum as I did with my dad. But, at the end of the day, they stay together. But, I just find it really sad for the stepchildren because their mother is the one that's stopping this. However,
that's it.
she's digging herself a grave.
Yeah, and that's
Right,
it. You know,
it's not
I
just
agree with
about money, it's about the children. Don't just need money from the other
No.
parent. They need to see that other parent. Anyway.
Yeah.
definitely, and love.
Yeah.
Money doesn't buy love and affection.
No.
So Craig, I can't find the email. You're gonna have to read out the email.
You want me to read it out?
Yeah, quickly. We don't want to take out the points.
Okay, right. It's very short email anyway.
Go on.
And I sent that. And that was because I sent the podcast of Ian. Right, let me just quickly find it. Where are we? Oh. Right. Give me a second.
Anyway, I'm gonna while you're looking for it. All right. Anybody out there who is suffering from your dark place, or you're feeling alone, you're feeling down, you're feeling you're going nowhere to turn, please reach out, as Alex said, because look, I've been there, and I can guarantee some people on here have been there. When we beat ourselves up in here, when we tell ourselves we're not good enough, we're stupid, we're not worthy, we're not lovable, them thoughts drive you into black hole. All right, you've got to reach out, you've got to speak out. I've been there.
If you need
one of the
to
biggest
upload,
apps.
if you need advice on how to fill out a form, if you need to know, if you need advice on what you think you should do, look, we've all royally effed up at some point here, and we've learned painfully on what we should and shouldn't do. So we can help you.
We can help you.
The Bob Reid Foundation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We've also got other organisations. If you want to help, just please pick up the phone
Reach
or
out.
social media to us.
Definitely reach out. And the big thing is with Ian, Ian's got a GoFundMe page. I'm going to put the link up here. All right, let's take this. Ian's lost his son, and Ian's looking now at taking it to the High Court and getting some justice. So please support it. Get on it. If you do something tonight, please support. Ian, I'm going to leave it to you now because Craig is still looking. Ian, what have you got to say, bud?
Yeah, I can just, same as Alex says, just reach out to any of us. Anything you want help with. My case started out, as I think I said at the beginning, it started out as justice for Gavin. It's not justice for Gavin anymore. It's justice for everybody out there, all the non-resident parent, not just guys. I know from the research I've done, there is women as well that are on the rough end of this stick. Anybody who's a non-resident parent who wants help, please reach out to us, guys. We'll help you as much as we can. And
Ian.
yeah, I've got a GoFundMe page. I've got a court case coming up. If you can help me, I'm trying to help you guys. So please try and help me to help you.
Ian, I wanted just to remind people what it's like to be the person on the other side of losing somebody.
God, don't even go there.
The damage you leave behind.
Christmas for me this year, I'll tell you what my Christmas was like this year. We was going to cancel Christmas this year because Christmas was always special to Gavin. We decided we couldn't do it. And then a few days before Christmas, we thought about it, and we thought Gavin wouldn't want us to cancel Christmas. He would want us to have a good time. So we did Christmas. We spent Christmas Eve prepping food. Gavin was the barbecue king, so I barbecued for Christmas, and there was loads of booze because Gavin was always loads of booze. And we sat down to the main course, Julia and myself, and we both just burst into tears. It was just, it's the ultimate bittersweet day for me. There's so many happy memories, and such a waste of such an amazing guy. He was far better than I ever was. He was there for everybody, and words cannot describe. And what's making it worse for me is looking at all these other guys that are on these sites that don't see their kids purely because of other people's lies. You know, you just cannot imagine. I can't imagine what they're going through, the same as you guys can't imagine going through. We've got to put a stop to this somehow. We can't keep on as a society doing this. The whole of society has got to come together and put a stop to what people are doing to each other. Yeah, I'm sorry,
buddy.
guys.
I'm awful sorry. All right, I don't know what to say. Craig's just sent me through the email. I'm going to share this quickly with you all. This is what the email was. Who is it from, Craig?
It's from Anne Widdecombe. I emailed Anne Widdecombe, who's an ex-Tory MP. She was a minister.
This is what she said. Dear Craig, thank you for your email on the 9th of October. The contents of the podcast indeed are distressing, but I'm afraid it is not isolated case. The CSA is responsible for many suicides and attempted suicides, indeed mental breakdowns. This doesn't make it any less appalling, and I despair of men ever getting a fair deal. The CSA was set up. I was the Department of Social Security at the time, though not responsible minister, specifically to track down feckless fathers. The inevitable had begun to happen. In order to meet the targets, the CSA pursued responsible parents because they were easier targets than those who simply disappeared. So that's despicable. You know, I don't know what to say. I'm going to leave it on that note because we've got a minister, an MP admitting that CSA is responsible for many suicides.
Oh.
Come on, look. If you are suffering out there, get out to the Bob. What is it called again now?
Bob Reid Foundation.
Bob Reid Foundation. All right, reach out. I'm here. With all you, please don't suffer. And that's all I'm going to say. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to get in touch, you want to have a chat, get in touch. Bye from me. Everybody else.
Hey guys, happy as much as it can be. We still got a smile. Life must go on.
Yes.
Take care, guys. Love you all. Bye, guys.
Love you all.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.